Hey everyone, welcome back to IMEX America here in sunny Las Vegas, though I haven't yet seen the sun because true to convention center awesomeness, I have not left the casino area in at least, 5 days. But hey, we've got 2 more days of amazing IMEX goodness. Joining me today is Camille Beaty Fallor. I didn't do it. It was like Fallor, like Baylor, y'all. It's going to be terrible. Camille Beaty Fallor. I won't. Camille from Event Core. And we were talking about complexity for events and all the different ways that you work on the nits and pieces that go, ooh, if I get this person here to there. So tell us what you do and how you help get attendees from not yet attendees into the space.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for having me. It's my first podcast, I have to confess. I'm kind of a behind the scenes girl sometimes.
I like it.
So Event Core, I'm the vice president of sales there, and our objective is to provide bespoke registration websites for large, complex events or smaller, high-touch ones.
So what does that mean, bespoke? Because isn't every registration system something where you go in, you plug it into the thing, and you say, I need it to do these 6 things?
So that is a configurable registration solution where someone at your organization may choose to purchase a subscription, use an end-to-end SaaS solution, and those are great. Those are really great solutions. In fact, if you consider the complexity of a registration experience, you could have a 0 to 100 scale. That's kind of a great way to look at it.
Right.
And your 0 to 35 are your free solutions. They're the simple, straightforward, possibly there's a low cost, but you get what you get and you don't throw a fit like a toddler, right? And then you have like the 35 to the 85 scale, and that's really where a good end-to-end configurable, potentially SaaS solution fits in. Where a custom registration solution becomes essential to an really just a bespoke, I'm looking, an elegant, very elegant registration experience. That 85 to 100 on that scale of 100 is where you would want to work with a company like Event Core that creates a journey for that registrant, that crafts really the honeymoon experience you want your attendee to have before they get to the event.
That when you think about it from an elegance perspective, one of the fascinating things that we're always exposed to here at IMEX is the incentive travel part of the business. And then really some of those high level corporate events, right? Where you're coming in and you're working with not just the Fortune 100, but the Fortune 10. And so the elite of the elite. And it's just not something where many of us in the event space, we're looking at a 15,000 person citywide. And while there are complexities that come with that for like an association annual event, many times that configurable registration system that you're talking about will help because it's a scalable solution from a budget perspective, from an ease of use perspective. The out of the box is going to be better. So give us an example. What would it look like? What kind of events are actually using these bespoke pieces, and how is it benefiting the meeting planner to work with those custom solutions? Because it feels like a lot of extra work would need to go into that.
So, okay, that's really maybe 3 questions.
So many questions. See, it's just my brain. It's just all of these things. How do you do it?
I love that about you because we're always thinking, we're always learning, right? So let me answer that in sort of 3 different pieces. The first one is, give me an example of the kind of event that would need to use a solution that's custom. And that could really be one of 2 things. It could be a large event that's complex, that has group registration, that has payments, that has, I don't know, maybe you have really excruciating security requirements. A custom solution has to pass significant security and privacy laws, GDPR. I mean, Event Core, for example, even meets all the Russian data protection laws, which is surprisingly, Russia has excellent.
Is it surprising? It's like when we talk about some of the ones. I remember we were going through the security line in one of the Middle East visits I did, and Brent and I were talking about how they gave out SIM cards as part of the passport check-in process.
Ooh.
And I was like, from a security tracking perspective, this country right here, they're starting with the handshake that welcomes you on in. So like part of me goes, that's right, Russia, you do you.
That's a whole new level of RFID tracking for tourists.
You're like, wow, what do you do when the group like big trains come in? At any rate, I take you off point. Come on back.
Okay. So, I mean, large events like that, tier 1, even, and we do several tier 0 events for very large companies. The other thing that we do, which I think is a great reason to have a high-end solution, is we handle white glove events. So very small events, which might have even as few as 50 attendees, but we are servicing the most elite VIP customer you might experience. We do one event every single year for our anchor client, which is attended only by CEOs from the top Fortune 100 companies.
So basically, Elon Musk is checking in and trying to figure out how to use the registration system. And so you've got to have UX that's going to make Elon Musk feel smart.
It might actually be Elon Musk.
Oh my goodness, guys. All right, so that's question 1. But I like that because it really is a benchmark for helping set that expectation, because I think we all think that sometimes our events are complex because there's all these moving pieces. So kind of understanding those different levels of how do I get from here to there. So my second question, let's bring it on back.
Right.
If we're coming in, and I don't remember what my second question was.
Your second question was, how do you create that solution?
See, she knows me.
So when you think about that, go back to the scale, the 35 to 85 group, the configuration of that solution is done by the organization utilizing the software. Our solution, and really any custom solution, is built on your behalf. So you aren't doing all this work. And why is that important, right?
Because I don't have any time to do the work. I want to give you the money and have you do the work.
Lindsay, you are so correct. So correct. Such a bright woman. So bright. So in fact, I want to give you an example because we recently did a case study with one of our large clients. We were brought in and we participated in a study. This company has 3 huge events that they do every single year. And they require internally 100 FTE to create and manage the registration system through online check-in or through on-site check-in.
That feels exhausting.
100 FTE. I mean, that would stagger the hours for any business, right? And think about all the business critical elements that are not being handled because someone is making sure that someone's credit card will process or something insignificant seeming as that.
Yeah, I'm thinking of all the other places I could use those 100 people to help my run my incredibly complex event.
Exactly. And these are not complex. These are seriously legit events. And so we came to work for them. We scratch built some functionality, and we built all their registration sites. We do all their on-site customer support. They have reduced their FTE count from 100 to 4.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a 96% savings in time and cost.
I mean,
exactly.
I think that's one of the things too, because when we talk about custom solutions for things like registration, because then I think in the event planner brain, sometimes we have bases of like, we should spend this amount of money for this and this amount of that. We're commoditizing it, not thinking about the long-term, trade-offs that we're making. And I have all of these stuff I have to do. So that's really fascinating that you can take it and quantify it. And I would love to see more research there, everybody out there and our research partners. How are we taking that and translating it from a human resources cost and things like registration or those other functionalities, technology, making the lift easier? But now, see, I'm thinking again, you've diverted me. Moving on.
Well, I was at that great event, Icon event last night.
Ooh, listen to the name drop. I like it.
I was fortunate enough to get invited. And one of the things that someone said to me is that there should be a conversation about how to remove the word busy from what we do every day. I love that. Right? It's essential. And the thing that struck me is that busy is a word that is relative to our own reality. It is something that is only true for us when we say it about ourselves. And our busy could be completely different from your busy, right? But in every case, the demand on a person's time is what dictates their feeling of busy. And having a custom solution where someone gives you back time instantly gives you back peace of mind. And when you're looking for a complex solution, you want somebody that's going to make you feel confident and reassured and cared for. And then I think that is why you would want a bespoke registration experience for your attendee, but also for your organization. It's elegant.
Also, you could say bespoke several times about your solution and just feel better about yourself, because it's like, I have a bespoke suit and a bespoke registration system.
Right.
I'm fancy.
And I bought it at an atelier.
Ooh, look at this. No, she was talking about a trip to France earlier, and she was dropping in her French accent, and I had a lot of jealousy. I'm like, every time I go to France, they just go, ooh, yeah, American. It's so shameful. So shameful. Well, is there anything else we should be talking about around custom registration systems and thinking about the complexities of these tier 0 events and the ways that we can continue to enhance that experience before they become the attendee to make both our lives and their lives easier?
Well, I think it's important to remember that when you're looking for a registration solution, you want to think of that as the welcome mat for your event. So if you visualize, what do I want my attendee to feel like when they get to that site? Is it a welcome mat where they walk through the door and they feel cozy and a hot cup of cocoa and a marshmallow? Or are they just frustrated?
Right.
And we want any attendee to have a welcome mat that brings them in, creates a honeymoon so that their excitement is prolonged and their anticipation increased for getting to attend the event.
Love that, because it really is, at the end of the day, why we do this. We want them to feel like they're part of our family. We've got them to this great thing and we're ready to go. And just like that, as you're part of our family, if there's topics that we're looking for that we need to be talking about, from tactical things like registration systems all the way up to event strategy and design, what's the next big trend? We're coming to you live here in Las Vegas. We've got more content coming your way. Talk to you soon.